athletes?
First, just really want to congratulate South Dakota on a great season and obviously a great battle tonight. They gave us a tremendous fight, and I think the last time I was sitting in here, I promised that it was going to be a really good game, and I think both teams delivered that. Beyond that, really proud of my team, our fight, our resilience after not really being playing our basketball in the first half and then coming back out in the second half and being a whole lot more of us. Really proud of that fight. Our senior leadership, we challenged a lot of folks in the locker room at halftime, and they all responded like women, and that's what we asked them to do. Really excited to get out here and scout this next ball game.
All right, we'll take questions for the student athletes. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you, and please state your name and affiliation.
I'm David Brown from the Associated Press. Danielle, I know probably the first 3 seasons you were at Clemson, it was kind of rough. There was a lot of losses. And how was it tonight, not just to play in the NCAA tournament, but to hit 4 3-pointers in the fourth quarter and really be the reason why the team pulled away?
It was amazing, honestly. I was a little nervous. You could tell a little bit in the first quarter. But once, I started getting to the basket and trusting my teammates, I got a little comfortable. And then they did a great job of finding me. And then once I hit the first one, I just kept calling it whether I was open or not. I was just calling for the ball. But it felt amazing to be out there. This stage is huge, and it's always been a dream of mine to be here.
Y'all aren't really a three-point shooting team usually, but obviously tonight it worked. Was that something you wanted to try coming in, or did it just sort of happen that way?
No, we're not a three-point shooting team, but we are very selective with the threes that we do take. The right wing, obviously, today was my friend. So we might not be a three-point shooting team together, but we do shoot the shots that we practice every day, and those are shots that we do practice every day, those wing threes, going inside out, things like that.
Continuing with questions for the student athletes.
Leo, just talk about the speed of the game. Y'all were up 15-2 on fast break points. Y'all really good in transition in that way?
I think we're great in transition. Whenever we get a rebound, we go into a stop. Like, we push the ball, we find the open man, everybody's running their lane. So as long as we're running our lane and you kick the ball ahead, I think we're really good. So I feel like we're great in transition.
Simone, it seemed like throughout the game, y'all's defensive pressure seemed to bother them at times. And there was one point in the fourth quarter you just ripped the ball away and made a layup and everything. I mean, what did you think about y'all's defense and kind of the pressure they put on them?
We just want to be there on every dribble. As soon as they catch, we want to be in their mouth, make them uncomfortable. That's where we thrive. It's where we get our offense from. It's from our defense. So more pressure we can put on them, we're able to get out, like Aaliyah said, get in our lanes, push the ball ahead, and run the floor, and that's where we're unstoppable.
And what was this like for you after 7 years? Was it everything you hoped it would be?
And more.
Any more questions for the student athletes? All right. Thank you, ladies. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Go Tank. Go Tank. Yo, don't rip the microphone down.
All right. We will continue with questions for Coach Butler.
Amanda, I know the game still has to be played out there, but obviously you probably didn't play Mississippi State. I don't know how much you've watched them or anything like that, but the challenges they bring and just what they've done the last couple of years, just kind of your impressions.
Well, I mean, the obvious challenge I think is Tiara, and she's seems to have met just about every challenge that she's faced with success. But I think it's really short-sighted if you think they're just a one-headed monster. They've got monsters that do their jobs really, really well. And that's including the head monster. Vic does a great job. They've always had this tremendous defensive identity, and I think that she's brought a lot more attention to the offensive side of the ball because she's such a tough matchup. But very well balanced, very well coached. They play fantastic here. Really excited to play in front of this crowd. But certainly I've watched them play, watched them in the SEC championship. Was real happy for them to be able to win that tournament this year. But just a great team, great squad.
Danny Smith, Strawville Daily News, Coach. Congratulations on win 250.
Thank you.
Just talk about the fast pace and the up tempo that got you 15-2 fast break points, and just Talk about, have you been that kind of fast break team this year?
Yeah, we're not a great offensive team, and our offensive numbers are a little bit misleading. Most of the time, they're a byproduct of when we play good defense and when we rebound the basketball like we want to, and then also just when we run the floor well. Speed and spacing is kind of what we're after in the transition game, and we knew that was going to be a big challenge tonight. Just scouting South Dakota, they do a great job of not giving up transition points. So we knew that we were going to have to generate some of that offense from our turnovers. But, yeah, that's been part of our identity all year.
And just talk about Danielle's shooting. She really came on in that second half.
She did, and it's not the first time we've seen that from Danielle or Simone. It was maybe even just a little bit uncharacteristic that Leah went 1 for 6. I thought we really settled in the first half, our threes, but then our second half threes were much more of what we expect. And the question you asked Danielle about, is that part of our identity? It has evolved into a greater part of our offensive identity. And my assistant coach, Daniel, deserves a tremendous amount of credit for that, obviously along with the girls, because it's been a process, because we started out as a really bad three-point shooting team and evolved into, where it can, like you said, be a factor in why we're able to pull away.
Hi, Coach. Andy Lee with WTVA Television in Tupelo. A year ago, you were out of the game doing the media thing. Now you're back in it, winning the NCAA tournament. How does it feel personally to be on this stage?
It's hard to describe. I'll just use Danny's word. It's amazing. But the amazing part of it is, this stage and this venue and all those things. That's wonderful. The amazing part of it is just the group of people that we're getting to do this with. An amazing group of seniors. Almost all of our administrators were here. It's just there's such a family thing at Clemson, and so it's not, I think, a lot of times what you're doing. It's who you're doing it with, and that makes it even that much more special.
Any more questions for Coach?
All right, go Tigers.
Thank you, Coach.